So you're thinking about moving to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you want to know everything there is to know about the area. Well, you're in the right spot. Today, I'm going to sit down with you with a Google map. I'm going to screen share with my computer so I can show you all of those areas here in North Idaho. We're going to go over some of the main roadways, drive times to big things like the airport, neighborhoods, lakes. I'll teach you how to pronounce the names of some of the local areas so you don't look like a fool when you come here. Shopping centers. Let's see, what else? Shooting range. I'm going to tell you where all the good stuff is, give you all the secrets of the area so you can kind of get a lay of the land before you visit. I know a lot of people get on our channel and they're kind of just curious about the area. They want to watch videos of the neighborhoods and kind of just understand everything there is to know about Coeur d'Alene, Idaho and North Idaho. So if that interests you, you are in the right spot. Be sure to stick around to the end. I've got tons of great information for you in this video. And let's go get after it right now. If you're new to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho and North Idaho, then subscribe, tap that notifications bell so you can be the first to learn about the current market conditions in North Idaho. My name is Seth. I'm a retired state trooper. There's my hat. My wife's name is Kristen, and together we get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you who want to know more about Coeur d'Alene, Idaho and North Idaho. So whether you're moving in 6 days or 6 months, give us a call, text, email, schedule a Zoom chat. Let's get together. We would love to help you make that smooth move to North Idaho. All right, we are live. I've got my screen sharing going on. We're looking at a Google map. I wanted to start out with a very broad view here so you can see what North Idaho actually encompasses. And I will draw on the screen here. So this line, that wasn't straight. Well, that's terrible. Coming down here along the side, that is the border between Washington and Idaho. And then Idaho, Canada up here. That's a little better. And then on the other side of this is Montana. It kind of cuts over at an angle. And then what we consider North Idaho is this panhandle chunk right here. So you can see Spokane, Washington right there is fairly close. It's only about 35 miles from downtown Coeur d'Alene to there. So we are going to be dealing with everything on this side, the wonderful panhandle of Idaho. And let me clear that out real quick and we'll zoom in a little bit further. Okay. Excuse my moving around. Okay. So first thing I wanted to show you guys is the distance to the international airport. Spokane International Airport's very close, which is a huge benefit. We get that question all the time. How far is the airport? So downtown Coeur d'Alene, right here. The airport sits right over this little triangle here past Spokane. And like I just said, that's 35 miles from downtown Coeur d'Alene to the airport. It's about a 45-minute drive unless you hit some major traffic along here, which you can depending on the time of day. As you come through Spokane, it can get a little congested in this area right here. Also, this chunk of Post Falls, so this is Interstate 90 right here. This chunk can get a little bit congested as well. Wifey says to switch to purple. Let's try it. All right. Let me clear that out again and we will keep moving. Okay. Zooming in. So now we've got the distance to the airport. Very important. Another thing while I'm zoomed out, I wanted to touch on some of these other lakes up here. Let me get my drawing up. And okay, so this is Lake, didn't switch to purple. This is, I'm sticking with green. This is Lake Pend Oreille. So if you see the spelling of this, I've had this embarrassingly come up with some clients before who called it Pend Oreille. It's a French word, P-E-N-D space O''Reille. Pend Oreille. That's how we pronounce that. And down here is Lake Coeur d'Alene. Lake Coeur d'Alene is huge compared to Pend Oreille. It's not huge, but if you're up close in it, it's a giant lake. It takes hours to boat down from north to south. This lake is much bigger up here. Then we have Hayden Lake.
And let's see, we've got some rivers. Let me zoom in, back out again. Okay, sorry, I got to clear this out to zoom. All right, we're going to focus kind of down in this area today. So Hayden Lake right here, Twin Lakes, Spirit Lake, and then there's a few, let's see, Hauser Lake. So all of these have waterfront homes on them as well. And there's a few small ones. Fernan Lake. So that's pronounced Fernan, not Fernan. That's a common mispronunciation. So this is Fernan Lake right here. Also has waterfront. Fernan and this little lake right here called Avondale. They are shallower. They freeze over. Lots of ice fishing on Fernan Lake down here, ice skating. The water also gets warmer in the summer. And sometimes on both of these, you have algae blooms, which can be dangerous. So you can swim in them, but the better swimming areas are over here on Hayden, and then the city beach, Coeur d'Alene. This is Sanders Beach area there, and then there's tons of swimming along the Spokane River here. So lots of areas to get in the water and enjoy it, and a couple areas you may want to avoid when it's super warm. Okay, I'm going to clear that out real quick. All right. Before I get too much farther, I do want to talk about some of the major roadways through here. These are important. So Interstate 90 is going to be your major route from, well, it'll go all the way across Idaho. But if you're coming into Spokane for the airport, you will take this route here. It comes down, passes right through Coeur d'Alene, and goes on to Montana. There is a lot of construction going on Interstate 90 currently in the Post Falls area. So right in here. They're widening it to 3 lanes, and I think the eventual plan is to have a 3-lane in each direction from Washington, at least into Coeur d'Alene, because there can be times of major construction in here, or major congestion due to crashes or construction. So just know that. Sometimes that gets slowed down a little bit. This is 41. This will take you up north through Rathdrum, and then connect with 53 and head up into Spirit Lake area and beyond. This is also being widened all through here. So lots of construction going on, lots of improvement to the infrastructure, which is good, but it's also frustrating currently. It will help alleviate some of the issues down the road. And 95 runs north-south, and this goes all the way down through the state, goes all the way up north to Canada. And pro tip here, you may not know this, but any odd numbered freeways or interstates always run north-south. Even number, like 90, runs east-west. So that's a good way to keep that fresh in your memory. So most of the construction going on in the area currently is kind of up in this area. That's why 41 is being widened. So it's becoming more of a major thoroughfare. And this is like the north end of Post Falls, some of Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, and then up into Rathdrum right here. So lots of development going on there. That was once farmland. That irritates lots of people that grew up here, that see this farmland being turned into neighborhoods. But it's good for those that are moving here because it offers housing options that you may not currently have. Clear that out again. Okay, so a couple other things I wanted to touch on. We're going to go through some of the neighborhoods here in the area that are more popular. Let's just start up here north. So Hayden is kind of this area up here. It cuts into there. Hayden is a really nice area, small downtown, kind of an old world feel. We will be putting out some very specific videos on Hayden coming up in the future. And it also extends over here too. So a lot up here in this area is kind of a more rural. There are lots of neighborhoods down in this area with more affordable housing options. These rural ones tend to have large acreage and can be, $1 million+ homes. Hayden Lake, there's some wonderful neighborhoods in here, very high end kind of stuff. And of course, waterfront all along these shores. So if you're looking for good waterfront options, Hayden's great. Plenty big enough to boat in. It's got a marina, great swimming. You can surf there, the whole deal. So Hayden Lake is a great option. It's a little bit quieter than Coeur d'Alene area. So that's a big draw for some people. And again, moving down. So this Dalton Gardens is kind of this area right here. I may be a little off on my lines, but roughly in this area. Zoom in for you on that. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. Dalton Gardens is kind of in here. That's a little low there. Excuse me. Okay. And the good thing about Dalton Gardens is the lots are all like an acre plus. So very desirable. They call it the golden acre. The price point does reflect that desire for people to live there, because a lot of people move here and want that rural feel without being too far from everything. So these are a good compromise of these homes. Lots of beautiful homes in there. And some, let's see, recently I've seen, and this is June of 23, I've seen some in the 700,000-800,000s, but also plenty up over $1 million as well. Okay, that. All right, so moving down and to the right here, I'd like to cover some of this area. Couple areas that I love around Coeur d'Alene that feel really remote, but are not. This is the French Gulch area. It's like a little known fact that it exists, but you come out these roads here and you get out here and you will see herds of elk right here. 5 minutes from downtown Coeur d'Alene, you can get out here and you'll see elk, which is awesome. And these are also mostly rural properties, 5 acres plus. And the price point reflects that just because of the location and the beauty of the surrounding area right there. Down here is, what's that? Fernan Hill. Couldn't remember the name. Fernan Hill right here. And these, there's a bunch of homes up in here, and they tend to have views of Fernan Lake, and some of them have views over into Coeur d'Alene Lake as well. So that's a very desirable area as well. And also minutes from downtown. Clear that out. Okay. Moving. Let's go over this way. Okay. So just to get your bearings here, this is the 41, 90, 95. So we're in this chunk right here. Some of this is Post Falls, some Coeur d'Alene, and tipping into the bottom edge of Hayden right there. This area has some of the more popular neighborhoods for families. So the Landings here, and then Coeur d'Alene Place is kind of in here. And these are several of the more popular neighborhoods. We will have specific videos out on those neighborhoods soon. These have tons of green space, bike trails, schools are in here, parks. Really, if you're moving here with a family, probably a great option. Homes, there's a mixture of price points, but more affordable in general. You're still very close to everything. Drive time, say from the Landings to downtown Coeur d'Alene, is probably 15 minutes, but it's probably 5 miles. It's just smaller roads getting down there. So you're very close to everything. Some of the main shopping areas, so Walmart is right here. Target, although we don't shop there anymore, is somewhere in here. So you have all the big box stores. They're close by. Fred Meyer down here. And this is possibly the most important thing I'll tell you in this entire video, Costco. Look at that. Coeur d'Alene has a Costco. We get people coming up here sometimes to visit, and they're shocked that Coeur d'Alene is actually not that small. It has everything you need in it. I mean, if you've got a Costco, you're pretty much covered. So I did not know Jake's Scuba Adventures was there. Never heard of that. Believe it or not, scuba diving is pretty big up here in the lakes. The water is so clear that it's pretty good diving. So I guess I'm not surprised. Okay. So these are some of the better, or bigger neighborhoods here and great for families. Moving down, let's move down into Coeur d'Alene proper so I can show you some of that. Okay. So downtown Coeur d'Alene is, I'm going to zoom just a little bit more. There we go. Coeur d'Alene extends above this, but this is like the downtown area. So you've got 95 coming along here, and then Northwest Boulevard. That's a main thoroughfare to get into the main strip of Coeur d'Alene, which is Sherman Ave. So if you see pictures, videos of a beautiful, amazing, wonderful downtown that's like a step back in time, it's right here. This is the spot. East Sherman. So Sherman Avenue runs east-west, and that has, okay, so here's another landmark here. The Coeur d'Alene Resort is right here. That's a big, iconic centerpiece of this town. So that's right there, Sherman Avenue. That's where all the wonderful shops, restaurants, everything is. This is East Sherman. It's kind of its own little area that's developing now. Also cool restaurants and stuff like that. So this area is pretty much downtown Coeur d'Alene. Tons. Doesn't look like much, but there are thousands of homes in here, ranging from super high-end millions of dollars homes to tiny little bungalows. So you get the gamut. There's some very wonderful little streets in here. This kind of area right here is like the Garden District. These are beautiful homes, very old homes that are just wonderfully maintained, gorgeous. Down here is Sanders Beach. We have a Sanders Beach video specifically. This place is awesome. Also, a big mixture of homes along the beachfront here. You've got multi-million-dollar estates, and then up in here, just lots of bungalows, some multifamily stuff, tons of options in Sanders Beach. This big chunk of green right here is the Coeur d'Alene Golf Course. So Coeur d'Alene Resort Golf Course. The floating green sits right down here. You can see that in the her Sanders Beach video. We kind of show some drone shots of all of this, so you can see it. This area here is possibly the best city park in the entire world. This is Tubbs Hill. It is owned by the city. There are only a couple of homes kind of over on this side. This is all accessible to the public. Tons of trails here. There's a trail that circumnavigates the whole base of it here, right along the water's edge, which is an absolutely beautiful hike. It's probably 2.5 miles, 2 miles to get all the way around. If you're visiting or if you live here, that is absolutely a must do. It's awesome. Okay. So resort downtown over here. This is the city beach, the Coeur d'Alene City Beach. If you see pictures of that, it's also very iconic. I should have mentioned there are 2 beaches over here. Sanders Beach, this little chunk, and then there's another chunk of Sanders Beach over here. This is the site right here of the Polar Plunge every year. So if you're interested in that, January 1st, it's a good time, sort of. Okay, back over to here. This area here is called the Fort Grounds. There used to be a fort there. That's why it's called the Fort Grounds. It is historic, so a lot of beautiful older homes here. Once again, the price point will reflect that and how desirable it is to be there. So keep that in mind. This is North Idaho College right here. Probably the most prime chunk of real estate in town. And there's a college there, which is cool. There's public beaches all along the edge here and here. So you can park in there at the college and access those beaches. This is the Spokane River. It runs towards Spokane from Lake Coeur d'Alene. So it's heading that way. You can boat all the way down it. There's a dam in Post Falls. Obviously, you could not boat beyond that unless you're daring and suicidal. Don't recommend it. Okay, so there are waterfront homes all along the Spokane River. Well, not all of it, some of it. Let's see over here. This would be the Riverstone, and then Atlas Waterfront is up in here. We do have a video specifically on Riverstone and Atlas. Cool video. Check it out. That's a great area over there as well. Okay, crossing. So this is the bridge right here. Obviously, 95 crosses the river. There are a few homes up here that have a great view of the city. And then these roads cut back into here and provide some wonderful options for housing as well. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Take you over here to Cougar Gulch. Where are we at? Okay. Cougar Gulch is an extremely desirable area in Coeur d'Alene as well. So if you're looking for that rural feel and want to be 10 minutes from town, this area is phenomenal. Beautiful homes in here, some equestrian type estates. Price points are going to be higher, of course, because most of these properties are 5+ acres, but you will feel extremely secluded, yet you're only 10 minutes from downtown Coeur d'Alene. So that's a awesome area. Totally recommend. Okay. Going to move around here a little bit more. All right. So, you know what? This will give you a better view of Riverstone and here. Okay. So Riverstone is going to be this chunk in here. So it sits kind of between 90 and 95. There's a movie theater, restaurants, lots of restaurants, medical buildings, banks, coffee shop, although it's Starbucks. And if you're going to live in a town like this, you should go to a local coffee shop. That's my opinion. And then Atlas Waterfront is this area. It's also a new development with the same kind of thing, a mixture of commercial and residential stuff. Tons of waterfront. So the river's nice. You can, like I said, you can boat down this river, steep, way down there in the Post Falls. Lots of waterfront homes here in Post Falls that are absolutely gorgeous. So if you have the opportunity to take a boat ride, I recommend it. And let's see. So these two areas are very desirable. All new stuff getting built here. So price point, once again, reflects that. It's on the higher side. Okay. All right. So let me get down here to Coeur d'Alene Lake Drive. This is one of my favorite areas. Okay. Let's kind of give us a whole view here. All right. So downtown Coeur d'Alene, once again, is right here. This is Tubbs Hill. That's a good landmark. So if you're out in the lake too and you're boating around, you can always kind of spy Tubbs Hill and know, okay, where your marina is at. All right. This is 90, which runs all the way down to Montana beyond. And Coeur d'Alene Lake Drive, here it is right here. So it before you get to 90, if you stay to get to it, you go off Sherman Avenue. And right before you get to Interstate 90, right here, head south. And this road is one of the best drives in Coeur d'Alene, in my opinion. And it runs right along the shore of the lake. Look at my tracing skills. Okay. Right along the shore of the lake. And it runs all the way down here to Higgins Point. Boom. Okay. Almost all the way there. Maybe right here. There are water view homes up on the ridge above Coeur d'Alene Lake Drive. Some of them have docks that are across the road. So you can park down by the road or on the road, access your dock. That's a cool option. So it's secondary waterfront basically. And then these roads up here have lots of view homes, beautiful views of the lake. So if you're in town, a great thing to do is to jump on Coeur d'Alene Lake Drive. You can drive down here. There are many public parking areas. Pull over and there's a bike trail that runs. It's the Centennial Trail, which I've mentioned in other videos. That Centennial Trail runs from Higgins Point right here all the way across the Washington border into Spokane. It's 63 miles from here to the end. So popular, and it's all off, no roadways involved. So it's a paved bike path, keeps you off the road, and you can bike or whatever, however you want, the entire length of it. So that runs here parallel to Coeur d'Alene Lake Drive. It's a beautiful spot to come out and just walk or ride your bike, take kids, whatever. Great times. Okay, clear that out. Let me show you. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's go north for a bit here. Okay. Zoom out a little bit so I can get more of this. All right. Okay, Rathdrum. It is an up and coming area. Lots of new development in here. It used to have a bad name. If you ask people that grew up here, they used to call it Rat Dump. I can assure you it is nothing like that. It has a cool little historic downtown and some very nice homes being built there. And over here, very high-end homes, like $1.5 million up in some wonderful neighborhoods with 1 acre lots, very secluded. It's cool. Definitely recommend that area. Okay, so Rathdrum, like I said, tons of development going on here. It's spreading and becoming more popular. That's probably the most affordable housing options for people here in this area, and maintaining a relatively close distance to Coeur d'Alene. Obviously, the farther north you get, depending on some areas, it can get cheaper. So if you want to move to Bonners Ferry, it'll be cheaper, but you're going to be very far from anything. Maybe you want that. That's fine. Okay. Twin Lakes, you can boat on here. There are waterfront homes. It's a little bit more rustic. It's a cool area, a little bit more rustic than Coeur d'Alene. There are lots of nice big 5 acre lots in here with wonderful homes in this whole area. And then into Athol. Silverwood Theme Park is a rather large theme park right here. Tons of roller coasters, water park. You will be driving up 95 if you've never been here. There's not much going on. And then bam, giant theme park right there. So it'll shock you. Over here, we have Spirit Lake. Spirit Lake is actually a cool little city, has a nice little downtown and like a little historic downtown. Once again, waterfront homes on this lake. You can boat on it. It's cool. It's a cool area. It's very quiet up here, but some people like that. That's what they're looking for. Okay. Got to clear and zoom out again. All right. Now, this is the tail end of Lake Pend Oreille. Lake Pend Oreille is huge. It's so huge that they have a Navy submarine base there that does sonar testing. I'm not lying. We did a video on it. What was that? 5 cool facts about Coeur d'Alene. We talked about that. There are literally Navy submarines in here. Can't draw a picture of a submarine. Okay, that cruise around in here underwater. You probably won't see them. All right, but I just want to show you how close it is. So Farragut State Park is a really great place to come swimming, camping, what have you. This is Bayview. I've been told that all the retired cops moved there. I don't know if that's true. Bayview is really, really beautiful. It's got its own little vibe going there. You could hang out there, stay there for long periods of time as far as like restaurants. Can't hear you. Oh, float homes. My wife said float homes. There are float homes in this area, which is cool. Okay, Athol. Yes, that is how you pronounce it. Athol. We get a lot of questions about that. Athol. No, Athol. Think asshole, but take the S out. That's how you remember it. My wife just laughed at me. Okay, this area. Athol's got a little downtown, couple pizza places. Right. Okay, so 54 comes off here. There is a Super One Foods here. I've been told it's the most visited Super One Foods in North Idaho, which you will find hard to believe because Athol is rather undeveloped, quiet, lots of big 5 acre lots up here. It's a really nice place to live. And you've got a grocery store right there. There's some new restaurants, critical care facility going in right here. So pretty much everything you need is coming in. Beautiful neighborhoods here in Athol. And if you shoot straight across 54, that'll take you over here to Spirit Lake, which I already talked about. Okay, as you get north of here, Carywood, Clagstone, Blanchard, these areas are, they're remote, sort of remote. You're going to have big lots, 5, 10, 20 acres, mixture of home types. You will see, single wides, but you'll also see $1 million estates, the whole deal. So this can be a very desirable area up here for some people. Now, living there, you are a little more remote. You're probably closer to Sandpoint than Coeur d'Alene. So here, let me zoom out here and kind of give you an idea of that. Okay. Nope. All right. Sandpoint right here. So when you end up in this Sandpoint, also a really cool city, which we have videos on. So you can see the downtown. Sandpoint's like, it's kind of bougie. It's like a smaller version of Coeur d'Alene, a little bit less of everything. But I don't know, it's a little bit hippie. I like it. It's cool. Okay, so here's that kind of in between area I was just talking about. There's another lake here, by the way, Kokolala. So if you decide to head up to this way, your bigger area or your closer area is going to be coming up here into Sandpoint and Pend Oreille. Pend Oreille has a Home Depot. Everything you need is there. You don't have to necessarily go down to Coeur d'Alene unless you need to go to Costco. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to get too much into that. We can do another video on that stuff. I'm getting too far out. Okay. Pull it back in. Here we go. Let's see. A couple other things I wanted to touch on. And if my wife has any ideas, she can write them down now. Here's one. I wanted to touch on this. This is popular. Shooting range. Okay. The best shooting range in town. It's right here. Fernand. Remember, that's how we pronounce it. Fernand Rod and Gun Club. So to get there, there's a little road that comes right along Fernand Lake here. And then you head out here. Boom. I'm not sure what the current price is, but it was $300 a year, and that's a private range. You get access to it's gated, so you can come in there. They've got tons of shooting bays. Obviously, it's North Idaho. Shooting is popular. Guns are popular. If you don't like either of those things, you can still move here, but it might offend you. So think hard about that. Okay. I got a couple areas that I was just reminded to show you. All right. Wolf Lodge. Let me forget about that. The finest steakhouse in all of the area is down here, right off of 90 in Wolf Lodge, called the Wolf Lodge Steakhouse. 10 out of 10. I recommend that. Okay. All right. So Rockford Bay is a very popular area. Okay. So just so you get your bearings, you're coming down 95, heading south. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. So, Rockford Bay is this area right here. Obviously, waterfront homes. There are waterfront homes all along the shore of Coeur d'Alene. Thousands of them. Should you be so fortunate, you can get one for yourself and invite me over to come hang out. All right. So if you take 95 down, get off Rockford Bay Road, that's probably right here, and then head down in here into Rockford Bay. Rockford Bay has a boat-in restaurant. You can also drive there, called Shooters, somewhere over here. Cool little spot. If you're out on the lake, you can pop in there. There are a few other spots on the lake like that I did not mention that you can pop in and go get a drink or food, which is a cool feature. Black Rock is a high-end gated community, is up in here. That's a beautiful area. There's a golf course there, Black Rock Golf Course, and clubhouse, which is extremely expensive to join. So, and I think there's a wait list, but still it's there. Good to know about. Okay, let me clear these out. There are many other bays on Coeur d'Alene that have great homes and are cool spots. Obviously, you can see many of them. Well, you know what? Let me pop into here. This is my family's favorite place to take the boat and go swimming. Beauty Bay. It's down in here. So don't come here if you want to be loud and drive your boat through at 100 miles an hour, because people come down here and they want to just chill. Come down here and they park their boats and they float and they swim with the families. Awesome spot to do that. You're welcome to join us. Don't be a jerk and boat down through here at a high rate of speed. Nobody likes that. A Blue Creek Bay over here. Same kind of thing. It's just a chill spot to go hang out. And there's Higgins Point again. Okay. Clear out. Zoom out. I don't know how I'm doing on time, but I think I have covered everything that I wanted to cover in this video. If you have any questions about specific areas, I intend to do more map videos. I will cover Sandpoint and points beyond that as well. And I'm sure I'll kind of pull in and do maybe some more specific, really dialed in videos of the area so that I can kind of break down everything for you guys, show you the parks and stuff like that. I appreciate you joining me for this journey. I know it's hard when you're looking at a place and you don't live there and maybe haven't visited there to kind of understand the layout of everything. I know we did it when we moved. It's like you want to take in all of the information that you can. You want to see videos of driving. You want to see videos of walking downtown so you kind of can understand exactly what it looks like. And that's what we're trying to provide with this YouTube channel, is to give you that. So we will be your eyes on the ground here. So if you have specific questions, please call, text, email, reach out. We are here. It's like, once again, I said, it's me and my wife, Kristen. We live downtown in Coeur d'Alene, so we're very tied into the community. We would love to help you, whether it's 6 days or 6 months. We are here to help you make that smooth move to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or anywhere in North Idaho. Thanks again, guys. I will catch you on the next video.